So who owns that house that you're about to list? As a listing agent, it is your responsibility to make sure that you know exactly who is the owner of record that has to go on the listing agreement and that then has to execute the sale contract. And when a buyer agent brings you a contract, then they count on the fact that you identified the sellers and that the sellers are actually the sellers. So identifying the actual owner is absolutely critical. And what most real estate agents do is go to the properties appraiser's office, punching the address, and see who is the owner. Now there's a challenge with that strategy because number one, the properties appraiser's office records are notoriously late in getting them updated. Just check a couple of months after you close the transaction and see who is shown on the properties appraiser's office. And sometimes when you go to the tax assessment office, tax collector, and the properties appraiser's office, you're going to see two different sets of information. Now also, when you have multiple owners on a property, many times the properties appraiser's office will only have one or two of them shown. So we've had scenarios where, let's say, 4 or 5 siblings own a property together, and as a result, they are not all reflected on the properties appraiser's office. The agent takes a listing, only has 2 of them on there, and the contract gets executed with only 2 of them on there, and you have an invalid deal, an invalid listing, and an invalid contract, and it won't come up until the title work is done. Last but not least, there are also scenarios where ownership changes through a legal action. So let's say, for example, husband and wife own a property, there's a divorce, one of them gets to keep the property, both of them may still be showing on the properties appraiser's office or in an estate type of situation. So the most important thing that you can do is cross-reference what's on the properties appraiser's office. And there's a magic website that you should bookmark, and that is NETRonline.com. NETRonline.com is your gateway to public records in the entire United States. And so what I would suggest you do is that you go to the properties appraiser's office, look who is the owner according to that information, then go to the official records for the county in which the property is located at. And again, you can find that website quickly through NETRonline, and then punch in the last name of that person. I would just look for a search that is going back, whatever the ownership chain is per the property appraiser's office. If there has been any kind of transfer of title, you will find it in the official records, and you want to pull the deed that transferred ownership to the current owners. And that will tell you if there are any co-owners on there, what the relationships are, et cetera, and it can give you certainty on who actually owns that property, and you won't find yourself in a bind where somebody gets forgotten or an inaccurate ownership record is reflected on the listing agreement and the sale contract. I hope you found this helpful. My name is Thomas Hyman with Realty Partners, and as always, if you have any questions, feel free to direct message me and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have, or just leave a comment below the video. Thanks so much and have a fantastic day.